Hey there friends, it's Cassie. Welcome back for another video here on my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be playing with Kendra's card challenge again, and I'm really excited. This one is being sponsored by Coloradocraftco. And so yeah, I have everything linked down below that you're going to need to get started if you want to play along. But this is the sketch we're going to use today. I'm using sketch number 4, and this is the darling stamp set that I have. This is called Recharge, and it's got the stamps and the dies. I love this stamp set, of course, because it has a cat on it. Yeah. And you know how I'm going to color it. You already know. So we're going to use that top one with him fishing. He's just so stinking cute. And yeah, there's the matching dies. I did decide to pair it up with this honeybee paper called Great Outdoors. I'm not sure if it's still available. If it is, I'll have it linked down below. But otherwise, that's what we're using. All right, so I've gone ahead and I've cut down a piece of cardstock. This is some Express It cardstock. It's really good for alcohol marker coloring because it's super smooth and it's very white. It's my favorite to use. And then I inked up my image with some ink on 3 blackout ink, and that's another one that's good for Copic coloring because typically it doesn't smear. Now I went ahead and started coloring and probably should have heat set that, so I do have a little bit of smearing going on, but it's only because I did not let the ink dry good enough. It's fine. It'll, you know, the more I color over the top of it with the darker colors, it really is not that big of a deal. But yeah, I'm sitting here going, I probably should have heat set that. So that is probably my one drawback to this one. I know there are other ones out there that don't do that, but I really do like the ink on 3 blackout ink. There's a couple others I really like too. All right, so now I'm going to switch over to my Copics. I started off with my Olos. I like to combine them because they work just fine together. So if you have some Copics and you want to try some Olos, I say give it a shot. I am a little bit, I prefer the Olos these days just simply because they're not drying out like my Copics seem to do. But yeah, I like to combine them, and I have plenty of Copics. So those are the colors that I'm using to make my cat look like my Max, who is a seal point. And so I'm just going back over that with those lighter colors. I like to go darkest or lightest to darkest, and so that's pretty much what I did here for this little kitty. Then we'll go back to our Olos, and we're going to do some very simple coloring on the trees. Since they're so far in the background, I'm not going to really worry about adding any shadowing or shading to them. It's when we get to the sand that I bring in a little bit more of that color. We'll color his pole and the tree trunks, the palm tree trunks, the same color, and then we'll bring in that Y0 for the sand. And then I'm going to start with just a base of this Y0 2.2, and then we're going to bring in some of those other colors, and we're going to do a little bit of stippling. And I won't lie, when I first started doing the stippling, which every time I start doing stippling, I always think to myself, this looks terrible. But it's a lesson in continuing on, just like keep going. That's my main thing when it comes to like doing any sort of coloring. If you're working in layers, you just keep moving and it will eventually do what it's supposed to do, whether it be that the colors dry back because they're still kind of wet on that paper, or what the case, whatever the case is. I usually end up loving it in the end, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. So I'll do my finishing touches on that, and then I am going to bring in the matching die. Now, the matching die is going to cut out the little birds that were in the background as well. I didn't catch it until after I stopped filming, so you're going to see there's a little hole there where the birds were, but they were stuck to my mat, and so I didn't even see them. I'll put them on later. You see that in the end picture. So yeah. All right, so now I'm going to play along with that sketch. I've got my papers all cut according to the sketch, and I'm just going to start gluing everything on. The card base that I have is a craft colored card base, and yeah, so I'm just gluing those on. And typically, now if you watch me, normally what I like to do is I like to challenge myself and do all of the sketches, but in this case, I did not have time. I would have loved to have made a card for every one of those sketches using this stamp set. Even though there's only 2 images in it, I think it could have been so much fun. But I just have run out of time. My time is this time of year. I cannot be the only one, right? I mean, everybody's this time of year is a little bit crazy. Regardless, I am just excited that I got to play along. Didn't get to make all the cards, but I did get to play along. Okay, so the sketch has come along and we're about done here with it. I'm going to trim off that excess, and then we're going to play around with how we're going to put him on there and what sentiment that we want to use. Since summer is approaching, this is the perfect stamp set for a little bit of rest and relaxation. I don't know about you, but while this is out, I'm on vacation right now. I say vacation. I'm celebrating with one of my nephews in his high school graduation. So I am not around right now. We're celebrating. All right, so I've picked out the sentiment that I want to use, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp that down at the bottom using some VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. It's just a nice crisp black ink. And then I am going to stamp a sentiment on the inside as well. And then I'll bring in these embellishments. These are from Trinity Stamps. They're called Sea Glass Twinkle. And I'm using my pickup stick. I put it in my tidy tray. And we're just going to adhere all of those down using that liquid glue. Now, like I said, this is a part of a hop. So you're definitely going to want to head down to my description box down below, whether it be to check out the sketches or the challenge, or, you know, to hop along and check out everybody's, what they've made. I think you're definitely going to want to do that. I definitely want to do that. But yeah, so head on down to that description box and go hopping along. And that finishes off our card for today. I hope you love it as much as I do. If you do, hit that like button. Definitely consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And as always, I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye, everybody.